All right, man. So the Lakers finally made a trade, and it's not the trade that we all was expecting. It's not Kyrie Irving, but it's a guy that's pretty close to Kyrie Irving. It's Patrick Beverley. But yeah, so today we're gonna be talking about the Lakers. Trading for Patrick Beverley. They traded THT and Stanley Johnson for Patrick Beverley. Kind of happy for THT because we all know that it was just a bad fit. With him being on a team with LeBron James and then Russell Westbrook, and him also being a guy that needs the ball to be successful. It was just a bad fit, so I'm happy for him. He's going to a team that's probably going to use him the right way. That's if Donovan Mitchell gets traded. Well, I feel like even if Donovan Mitchell stay, the Jazz probably are going to use THT the right way. So he's going to have a chance to pretty much ball out and show everybody why Rob Pelinka had like these high expectations, of him. Obviously, it didn't work out in LA. Just terrible fit, like I said. So, yeah, happy for THT. Wanted to get that out of the way. And as far as Stanley Johnson go, I read a pretty interesting comment that pretty much said, was Stanley Johnson really good? Or did he just stood out because the Lakers was just lazy and no one was really playing defense? So it was pretty much, it was impossible for you not to stand out if you played any defense on this team. Like Austin Reeves, don't get me wrong. I love him. I love his game. He plays hard, but that was one of the main reasons why Lakers fans fell in love with him, because there was like finally a guy that's actually hustling. Yes. So when Stanley Johnson came along, you had Austin Reeves, Stanley Johnson. They immediately became fans' favorite. So that was a pretty interesting comment. Was Stanley Johnson really good, or did he just stood out because he was on a bad team that was playing zero defense? But nevertheless, still kind of sad to see him go. Although I understand that's business, they had to include him in the trade in order to make the contract work. To get Patrick Beverley. Although they probably could have included Kendrick Nunn. I don't know. I would have to look at the salary, but I know for a fact they had to include Stanley Johnson to make the the salary thing work in order to get Patrick Beverley. Now, as far as was this a good trade, I don't know. I guess we have to see, because if they make other moves, like some of the reports that I'm reading, them trying to finally make that trade happen for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, then if they get those two guys, then this was definitely a good trade, because now you're looking at LeBron James, Patrick Beverley, Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, and then the bench would be Kendrick Nunn, Austin Reeves, what's that guy? What's that center they just signed? Thomas Bryant. So you have a pretty solid bench and definitely a great starting five. And I'm not gonna say if they stay healthy in the regular season, because we know like AD's guaranteed he's gonna miss at least 15 to 20 games. LeBron James at the age where he's just gonna be taking games off. Like the man's getting old, so he have to rest his body, and knock on woods, he doesn't get hurt, but LeBron James also going to be missing some games. So because of those two things, I see them being fourth, maybe fifth in the West, like dealing with some injuries and probably LeBron missing games due to, load managing and all that stuff. So I got them fourth and fifth in the West. And if everybody's healthy, I don't know, man. I don't want to see a healthy LeBron James AD with Miles Turner, Patrick Beverley in the playoffs. I feel like you would not want to see a team like that. They can definitely cause a lot of damage in the playoff and possibly go all the way to the NBA Finals. So as for right now, I'm not really grading the trade. If they bring in other guys, then it was definitely a dub. But if it's Pat Bev alone, Lord have mercy, Lakers fans are going to have a field day with Rob Pelinka, because you did not want to include THT for Kyle Lowry. But now you are getting THT for Patrick Beverley. And I get it. Kyle Lowry is kind of washed. If you go by what you saw in the playoffs last season, obviously he's probably going to come back a lot healthy. But if you want to go by what you saw in the playoffs last season, I guess you can say Kyle Lowry is kind of washed. But Kyle Lowry is still better than Patrick Beverley. So you didn't want to trade THT for Kyle Lowry, but you traded him for Patrick Beverley. So for Rob Pelinka case, I hope there's more move to be made. And if so, and if it's the guys that I'm expecting them to get, then this was definitely a dub.